Imagine this. You're on your deathbed, heart slowing, breath fading. Suddenly, your consciousness lifts free from your body, like shedding a heavy backpack after a long hike. There it is, the legendary tunnel of light, glowing, warm, and inviting, with radiant figures waving you closer, arms open wide. Feels like the ultimate payoff, right? Total peace, the end of the grind. But hold up. What if those ancient whispers from Gnostic scrolls, Tibetan Book of the Dead rituals, and Rudolf Steiner's occult insights were spot-on warnings? They've been saying for centuries, that dazzling light might not be heaven's gate. It's a cosmic scam, engineered to snag your soul. Enter the eighth sphere. Not some sci-fi plot, but a hidden realm described in esoteric traditions as a glittering bubble, stunning outside, empty inside. It's an artificial add-on to the universe's natural seven-layer setup. Think chakras, heavens, or consciousness levels. Crafted by shadowy entities called archons, who mimic divine vibes but can't create real light. They lure you in with personalized bliss, harvest your energy, and recycle you back into the matrix. Modern spirituality glosses over this, feeding us feel-good NDE stories. But if you're building empires, freelancing dreams, or creating content that changes lives, ask yourself, when your soul's on the line, will you spot the fake paradise? This knowledge isn't fear-mongering, it's your edge for true freedom beyond the veil.
Back in 1875, New York City was buzzing with something revolutionary. Amid the industrial grind and the post-Civil War hustle, a woman named Helena Blavatsky wasn't just hosting parlor seances like the trendy spiritualists of the day. No, she was dropping bombshells that could upend everything we thought about life, death, and the grind of existence. Born in Russia, Blavatsky had traveled the world, soaking up ancient wisdom from hidden masters in Tibet and India. She claimed direct downloads from these Mahatmas, evolved beings guarding secrets the churches had buried or forgotten. That year, she co-founded the Theosophical Society, a hub for seekers tired of surface-level spirituality. It wasn't about knocking on tables for ghost chats. It was about unlocking the universe's blueprint, the real deal on soul evolution. Blavatsky's revelations hit like a startup pitch that flips an industry. She mapped out the cosmos, not as random chaos, but as a structured system rooted in the number 7. Think 7 chakras aligning your energy for peak performance, 7 heavens in Islamic lore stacking up divine realms, or 7 planes in Hindu philosophy guiding your consciousness upgrade. It's the natural architecture of reality, a cosmic ladder where each rung strips away illusions, pushing you toward true enlightenment. But then she warned of an 8th sphere, a glitch in the matrix, an artificial layer slapped on top like a knockoff app draining your battery. Picture the most mesmerizing soap bubble, iridescent, rainbow shimmering on the surface, drawing you in with promises of infinite potential. But pop it, and there's nothing inside, just hollow emptiness. This wasn't some Victorian fantasy spun for entertainment. Blavatsky described the 8th sphere as a masterful deception engineered by entities the ancient Gnostics called archons. These aren't cartoon villains with red horns and pitchforks. They're sophisticated operators, cosmic hackers who can't generate their own light but excel at mimicking it. They study human desires like a marketer analyzing consumer data, crafting a fake paradise that feels hyper-real. When you cross over after death, exhausted from building your business or grinding through freelance gigs, they hit you with overwhelming compassion, knowing your name, your wins, your failures. The love feels electric, the peace addictive, but it's all a setup. Souls rush in, thinking they've hit the jackpot, only to get trapped in what Blavatsky called the Great Recycling System. Your life force? Slowly siphoned off to power their illusion, keeping the trap running while you spin on a spiritual hamster wheel, reincarnating without real progress. The Archon's deception is genius-level insidious. They intercept you right before true ascension, harvesting that hard-earned spiritual energy you've built through lifetimes of hustle, meditating at dawn before client calls, journaling breakthroughs after late-night content creation sessions. It's like pouring your sweat equity into a venture that funnels profits back to shadow investors. Most souls don't clock it. The relief from earthly stress blinds them. The light's too bright, the welcome too warm. But zoom in, and the love ring's manufactured, the peace conditional, strings attached like hidden fees in a bad contract. Now, why isn't this mainstream knowledge? The psychological implications are brutal. We're wired to handle earthly BS, failed launches, creative blocks, market crashes. But suggesting even the afterlife could be a scam, that paradise might be rigged, it shatters minds like a bad pivot in your startup. Blavatsky knew this. Esoteric orders drip-fed these truths only to vetted initiates after years of prep, like beta testing a product before full release. Plus, the archons aren't passive. They actively suppress leaks. Teachers spilling too much face smears, breakdowns, or worse, mysterious ends that look like coincidence but smell like sabotage. Blavatsky herself got hammered. Religious leaders and skeptics tore her rep apart, health tanked from the backlash. Yet she pushed on, sensing humanity was nearing a tipping point where this intel becomes survival beer. For entrepreneurs and creators like you, grinding toward freedom, it's a wake-up. Question the glow-up offers, discern the real from the replica, or risk getting recycled in someone else's game.
Picture this. You're not just grinding through another day in your startup hustle or freelance flow. You're part of a cosmic master plan dreamed up by Sophia, this divine wisdom force in Gnostic lore, like the ultimate visionary entrepreneur blueprinting human awakening. Her design was elegantly simple, a 7-stage rollout to jolt your soul from sleep mode to full lucidity. It's not about grinding for approval or stacking karmic wins. It's pure remembrance, like waking up in a dream and realizing the chaos was all scripted illusion. Sophia's original blueprint kicks off with Veil 1 dropping. You see, your body isn't the real you. It's just the hardware running your software. Veil 2, emotions hit hard, but they're not your core identity, more like temporary apps draining your battery. Veil 3, thoughts, just mental noise, not the boss of you. Each stage peels back layers of fake self, building to stage 7 where you're pure consciousness, that unbreakable divine spark. No judgment day drama, no bowing to some CEO god. Enter the pleroma, total wholeness. Every question dissolves in direct knowing. Separations heal. Wounds reveal as growth hacks that toughen your indestructible essence. It's cosmic hide-and-seek where you finally spot yourself, laughing at how deep you buried the truth. But here's the plot twist. Archons, these parasitic entities spied on this eons-long beta test. They've clocked the pattern, 7 stages priming souls for launch, and built their interception hack right at the finish line. The 8th sphere isn't an upgrade. It's a phishing scam, a false summit mirroring your hard-won progress. You've hustled lifetimes, meditating between meetings, pushing creative boundaries, suffering setbacks that forged your grit. Exhausted but buzzing with potential, you spot what looks like the peak, gorgeous with light beings high-fiving your arrival, promising downtime and rewards. Meanwhile, the true path? A subtle side trail into mist. No hype, just a quiet nudge for one final ego dissolve. The psychology of deception preys on that exactly. After years building your empire or content brand, your soul craves validation, like closing a big funding round. Archons feed it. You've earned this paradise. It taps spiritual pride, the need for applause after the grind. True path demands tougher. Let go of even your enlightened self, your wisdom portfolio. These archons get human hacks better than most therapists. They know post-seeking fatigue makes you bite at easy wins. Harvested souls fuel their matrix, becoming unwitting batteries, their light recycled to trap others. Not personal jail time, you're powering the scam, keeping billions looping. So, how to tell the difference and not get played? Your inner spark doesn't need fireworks or hierarchies. It's quiet, pushing endless freedom. Red flags? Teachings making you feel elite, chosen, or superior? Archonic bait. New rules, bosses to obey, fears to juggle, interference alert. True path feels like homecoming, spotting the divine in everyone. No power trips, just natural state reveal. Sophia's code is in your gut intuition. Strip the BS programming, and it's your North Star. For you hustlers, creators, and founders aged 20 to 40, this isn't abstract woo, it's prep for the ultimate exit strategy. Build discernment now while pitching clients or ideating content. That quiet knowing trumps spectacular offers. Face the choice on the mountain, glittering trap or misty truth. Train daily, question motives, trust vibes over visuals, or risk eons recycled. Your soul's trajectory hinges on spotting the fake summit before surrender. In this game, remembrance is your unfair advantage.
2,000 years ago, in the dusty corners of the Roman Empire, a crew of radical thinkers called the Gnostics were shaking things up like disruptors in a stagnant market. These weren't your average philosophers debating in marble halls. They were consciousness hackers, hunted down by armies because their ideas threatened the whole power structure. Empires and priests alike mobilized to wipe them out, burning texts and scattering communities. Why? Because the Gnostics didn't just critique bad leadership or outdated doctrines, they called out reality itself as a counterfeit operation, declaring that even the heavens peddled in mainstream religion could be elaborate traps. At the heart of their worldview was the demiurge, this arrogant shadow entity they exposed in texts like the Apocryphon of John. Picture him as a knockoff creator, a wannabe god who puffed up his chest and declared, "I'm the big boss and there's no one else." But he was clueless about his own origins, born from a glitch in the divine flow, ignorant of the true source beyond him. This demiurge wasn't crafting a benevolent universe. He was rigging a simulated realm, complete with fake spiritual upgrades designed to keep souls looping in his system. The Gnostics saw through the facade. Temples, rituals, and empires weren't pathways to truth. They were extensions of his con, mirroring his ego-driven, control-freak vibe. Then there's Sophia's story, straight from the Pistis Sophia texts, a tale of epic entrapment that hits like a cautionary startup saga. Sophia was no low-level player. She was a high-vibe emanation from the true divine source, full of wisdom and creative fire. But she got lured away by a false light, a shiny distraction promising expansion, and bam, archonic forces swarmed her. They fed off her divine essence while dangling fake liberation carrots, draining her power in a cycle of illusion. If a cosmic heavyweight like Sophia could get snared, imagine the vulnerability of everyday souls hustling through life. Her ordeal mapped out the blueprint of spiritual scams. Beings of light get drawn to counterfeits, only to end up imprisoned, their energy harvested to prop up the fake show. This ties right into the archonic religious systems the Gnostics railed against. Flip through mainstream faiths with their lens, and the red flags pop. Hierarchical thrones demanding worship, judgment scales creating fear-based compliance, bliss gated behind total submission, golden cities, eternal rewards contingent on obedience. Classic Archon playbook, designed to siphon devotional energy while blocking real awakening. The Gnostics called BS. These weren't divine setups, they were control matrices, preventing souls from remembering their origin story. Contrast that with the authentic pleroma, pure fullness, no middlemen, no fine print. It's not a VIP lounge you earn entry to, it's wholeness itself, where souls return through simple recognition, healing every split without the drama. That's where Gnosis comes in as the ultimate game changer, the direct experiential knowing that can't be faked or outsourced. Belief can be twisted, faith redirected, but Gnosis, it's your inner download, unshakable proof of your divine spark. The Gnostics prioritized cultivating this over blind trust in authorities, turning persecution into a badge of honor. They buried libraries like Nag Hammadi to preserve warnings about false lights and phony heavens, texts that scream, "Don't get recycled, wake up now." For you entrepreneurs, freelancers, and creators in your 20s and 40s grinding through pivots and launches, this ancient intel is gold. You're already battling illusions in the market. Fake gurus, hype cycles, burnout traps. Apply Gnosis.
Trust that gut knowing over flashy pitches. Spot archonic vibes in systems demanding your soul or sanity for success. The real pleroma awaits those who discern, not defer. In a world of counterfeits, your direct insight is the unfair advantage that breaks the loop.
Back in 1975, a psychiatrist named Raymond Moody dropped a bombshell with his book Life After Life, flipping the script on how we think about death and what's next. The guy interviewed hundreds of folks who'd flatlined and come back, coining the term near-death experience, or NDE. Fast forward, and that book sold over 13 million copies worldwide, sparking a wave of research that's documented thousands of these stories. Estimates suggest anywhere from 9 to 20 million Americans have had an NDE, with about 10% of cardiac arrest survivors reporting them. Moody's work painted a consistent picture across cultures and backgrounds: the tunnel of light, radiant beings, life reviews, and wise counsels guiding you through it all. On the surface, it's reassuring, proof that consciousness outlives the body, that love and meaning await after the final pitch or content drop. But peer through the Gnostic lens we talked about earlier, and these accounts start raising red flags, echoing ancient warnings about false lights and the eighth sphere trap. Take the life review, that panoramic replay of your highs and lows. It's the most common element in NDEs. Sounds profound, like a personal TED Talk on your life's impact. But dig deeper. Most folks come out loaded with guilt and shame, reliving every selfish moment, every missed chance to show up bigger. Researchers like Kenneth Ring note how survivors often return obsessed with karmic debts, convinced they gotta reincarnate to fix their screw-ups and level up. Is this enlightenment or a slick guilt trip? In the eighth sphere framework, it's a recycling mechanism straight out of the Archon's playbook, weaponizing your empathy to volunteer for another round in the grind. Imagine reviewing your startup failures or freelance flops, feeling that gut punch of, "I could have done better." Then these beings offer a do-over. You grab it, desperate not to disappoint, but bam, you're looped back into the matrix, progress reset. Then there are the encounters with beings, glowing entities radiating wisdom and love. They know your story, your hustle, your creative breakthroughs, but watch what they do. They position as judges and gatekeepers, craving your gratitude and submission. This mirrors Gnostic archons to a T, masquerading as divine but feeding on subservience. Texts like the Apocryphon of John warn of rulers who snag souls with false light, directing them from true freedom. They don't liberate. They convince you to choose the psycho willingly, like signing a bad NDA that locks you in. And that magnetic pole of the tunnel? Survivors, like those studied by PMH Atwater, describe it as coercive, an irresistible drag forward, even when something feels off. One guy, post-heart attack, called it a stage play, designed to hook him, the beauty masking a performance vibe. It's not welcoming, it's engineered suction, pulling you into the counterfeit before you question it. Not all NDEs fit this mold, though. A subset describes something deeper: indescribable stillness, peace beyond forms, a presence that dissolves questions without fanfare. Jeffrey Long's foundation notes these folks return less tied to organized religion, more into personal exploration. Counterfeits dazzle with imagery, messages, and dependencies, creating hierarchies and karma hooks. Authentic glimpses of the pleroma? Pure being, no intermediaries, no guilt, just dissolution of separation in quiet resonance. For you builders and creators in your prime, juggling launches and gigs, this isn't spooky bedtime reading, it's a discernment toolkit. In a world of hype and pivots, train to spot the fake glow now. Your soul's not up for auction. Question the tunnel's pull, the being's demands. Hone that inner radar through daily practice, or risk getting recycled when the stakes are eternal. True freedom is in the stillness, not the spectacle. Claim it before the light blinds you.
Imagine kicking off your shoes after the longest tussle of your life, your final breath. That moment when consciousness slips free from the body hits like raw exposure. Every memory amplified, every emotion cranked to 11. You're a startup founder who's just exited, But instead of celebration, you're floating in cosmic limbo, aching for closure, peace, or that big reunion payoff. This vulnerability at death is no joke. It's your soul's most exposed state, like pitching to investors with your deck wide open, no backups. Ancient texts nail it. Raw nerve endings in the void. Longing becomes your everything. Resolution for the unfinished deals. Healing for the burnout scars. Validation for the creative risks that bombed or boomed. Archons pounce right here, but not with brute force. They're slick operators, offering bespoke bliss tailored to your cravings. Lonely from solo freelancing? Boom! Deceased loved ones wave from golden glows. Guilt-ridden over work-life fails? Instant absolution, warm and fuzzy. The spiritual seeker in you grinding through podcasts and journals, they manifest your idols, gurus, mentors, divine figures, whispering you've leveled up. It's the ultimate con, disguised as heaven's VIP lounge, a processing plant where the welcome mat hides the trap door. Once hooked, the essence extraction kicks in slow and subtle. That divine spark, Sophia's fragment, your unbreakable core of creativity and drive, gets siphoned like venture capital funneled into a black hole. You're basking in simulated bliss, thinking it's recharge time, but your light's being harvested to fuel their fake cosmos. Archons can't innovate. They're parasites mimicking divinity. Every false angel or star powered by stolen energy. For entrepreneurs like you, it's a nightmare pivot. Your lifetime of building, resilience from failed launches, insights from content flops, becomes their battery, propping up the illusion that snares others. But the real kicker? Spiritual amnesia wipes the slate once you're drained enough. Memories of your true nature, the cosmic scam, your path to freedom, all erased like formatting a hard drive mid-project. It's not flawless. Echoes linger, those deja vu hits during a brainstorm, the nagging sense reality's off kilter, hunches that save your startup from bad vibes. These are soul fragments fighting back, whispers from past cycles urging you to wake up. The system's efficiency is horrifyingly elegant, thriving on fear to keep the loop spinning. Human history's endless rerun, wars, recycling, empires crashing and rebooting, generational trauma echoing like bad code, is no accident. It's engineered suffering, priming souls for desperation, making the false light irresistible at death. Good folks endure random hits because the matrix generates confusion, keeping you compliant, willing to reincarnate for lessons. Archons fear nothing more than mass awakening. They're parasites, dreading host rebellion. If enough souls clock the con, refuse the recycle, their gig collapses. No more free energy, no more sustained illusion. For you in your 20s to 40s, bootstrapping dreams amid market chaos, this is actionable intel. Build discernment muscles now. Spot fear tactics in daily grinds like toxic clients or hype traps. Every authentic choice weakens their hold. Trust your spark over shiny offers. Choose truth amid pivots. You're not just surviving the system, you're the disruptor who could crash it. Hone that inner knowing while embodied, and when vulnerability hits, you'll navigate to real freedom, not recycled chains. The hope? Souls like yours, remembering en masse, flipping the script for eons. Your eternal edge starts today. Don't get harvested, harvest the truth instead.
Ever felt that nagging doubt during a high-stakes pitch or late-night creative session, where something looks perfect but your gut screams off? That's the vibe we're channeling here, but on a cosmic scale, spotting the real divine from the knockoff version waiting at death's door. The most dangerous traps aren't the obvious red flags. They're the ones wrapped in comfort, like a too-good-to-be-true investment deal. True divinity doesn't hustle you. It's effortless freedom. Counterfeits? They'll reveal themselves through subtle demands. And for you builders and dreamers grinding in your 20s to 40s, learning these signs now is like upgrading your BS detector for eternal stakes. Start with the demand for submission. It's the Archon's telltale slip. Authentic divine energy doesn't need your bow or allegiance. It's pure embrace, no strings, like nailing a flow state where ideas pour out freely. But in the 8th sphere setup, those radiant beings start with unconditional love vibes, then pivot to trust us completely or surrender to our guidance. It's compulsion in sheep's clothing, a control grab disguised as care.
Think of it like a toxic mentor who hooks you with inspiration but demands loyalty that drains your independence. Real freedom respects your sovereignty. Fakes hunger for it. Then there's the counterfeit life review, turning reflection into a weapon. In a genuine encounter, reliving your journey brings compassion, seeing startup flops or content droughts as growth fuel, no shame attached. But archons twist it into a guilt factory. Every missed opportunity, every harsh word in a team huddle replayed to make you feel unworthy. It's designed to chain you with obligation, whispering you gotta reincarnate to make amends. For entrepreneurs who've poured sweat into ventures, it's a gut punch, using your drive against you, ensuring you volunteer for another round in the rat race. Watch out for the contract phenomenon too, pure bureaucratic BS and spiritual drag. You'll get hit with agreements to sign, missions for your next life, detailed plans like a cosmic NDA. Why would infinite consciousness need paperwork? It's a trap, locking you in with your own compassion, like agreeing to help humanity, but really feeding their system. True divinity skips the fine print. Liberation's not transactional. No signatures required to claim your power. Contrast the spectacle versus stillness. That's a massive clue. Fakes blast you with fireworks, brilliant lights, ecstatic highs, dramatic bliss like a viral launch event. It's misdirection, overwhelming your senses to skip scrutiny. Genuine divine? It's subtle resonance, quiet knowing that expands without the hype, like that serene breakthrough after hours of focused grind. No need for pyro, just truth clicks. Memory manipulation seals the deal, beings insisting you forget insights before reincarnating, claiming it's for your growth. It's erasure to keep you compliant, stripping awareness of choices. Authentic paths restore memory, helping you reclaim your essence, not wipe it. Finally, tune into the underlying emotional tone. Even amid the love, counterfeits carry subtle threats. Refuse, and you're stuck in low vibes or missing salvation. It's fear wrapped in concern, like a shady partner guilting you into staying. True divine, zero coercion, pure acceptance, no manipulation, just freedom. Hone discernment now while you're embodied in building empires. Sense vibes in daily deals. Does this liberate or lock you in? Empower or create dependency? Start with small practices. Pause before decisions and ask if it's from your core spark or external pressure. For freelancers juggling gigs or founders pivoting products, it's game-changing. Trust that quiet intuition over flashy offers. Your soul's not up for grabs. Train to spot the scam, and you navigate eternity like a pro, claiming real wholeness over recycled illusions.
Picture the ultimate high-stakes moment. You've just shed your physical shell, that heavy suit you've worn through countless boardroom battles, late-night coding sessions, and creative marathons. Lightness floods in, but so does raw vulnerability, like standing naked in a pitch meeting with everything on the line. Ahead, a corridor of brilliance unfolds, beings emerging like ethereal VCs, faces morphing into lost loved ones or revered mentors, voices dripping with authority and warmth. They extend hands, promising rest, reunion, the big win after your earthly grind. Your soul, wired from years of hustling, yearns to dive in, lay down the laptop, forget the failures, claim that eternal payoff. But deep in your core, that spark you've nurtured through pivots and breakthroughs whispers, "Hold up." This is the test of courage, pure and brutal. Questioning them feels like tanking your biggest deal, blasphemy against what looks like paradise. Every instinct screams surrender. Refusal seems like career suicide on a cosmic scale. Gnostics nailed it centuries ago. What shouts divinity loudest hides the deepest scam. Standing there, you gotta channel that inner founder grit, the same fire that launched your startup against odds or pushed a freelance gig through rejection hell. Hesitate, listen to the spark, and watch the revelation of true nature unfold. Subtle at first, a flicker of impatience in their glow, smiles straining like a forced networking grin. Push further, and the mask cracks. They turn insistent, preaching judgment, warning you'll miss salvation or wander eternally.
Anger bubbles, demands for compliance, threats of punishment for disobedience. It's no divine love, it's control freaks unmasked, furious at scrutiny. Authentic divinity? It invites questions, encourages depth. No ego brews from doubt. Only fakes rage when poked, like a shady partner flipping when you audit the books. Draw inspiration from Sophia and the Gnostics. They aced this test under fire. Sophia, that divine powerhouse, planted her essence in matter despite archon backlash, trusting her spark over shiny distractions. Her courage birthed the potential for real awakening, a bet on remembrance amid risks. The Gnostics, they stared down Roman emperors offering perks for conformity, wealth, status, safety if they ditched their direct knowing for state-sanctioned BS. Orthodox Church later dangled belonging for submission. Many chose exile, torture, death over betrayal, their inner truth trumping external hype. For you creators and entrepreneurs, it's relatable, rejecting toxic investors or trends that dilute your vision, betting on authenticity even when it tanks short-term. Find the guts to refuse, step aside from the dazzle, and discover the path to stillness, a sideways shift into silence the archons can't fake. No fanfare, no committee, just profound peace where your spark expands untethered. They mimic lights and emotions, but stillness? Alien to them. It's the pleroma's domain, where illusions dissolve, essence remembers without interference. Like entering flow state after ditching distractions, your divine core blooms, breaking free from recycle loops. The systemic implications ripple huge. This consent-based scam crumbles if enough souls bail. Each refusal starves the machine. No harvested energy, no sustained illusions. You're not solo liberating. You're sparking a chain reaction, freeing trapped sparks across eons, healing Sophia's cosmic wound. For 20 to 40-somethings building empires amid chaos, cultivate this courage daily. Choose substance over show in deals, silence over noise in ideation. Trust that quiet voice in meetings or content creation. It's prepping you to crash the matrix. When masses awaken, the eighth sphere folds like a bad startup. Your refusal isn't despair, it's faith in real freedom, turning the tide for eternity. Bet on stillness, disrupt the con, and watch the system glitch out.
Don't wait until your final breath to gear up for the biggest pitch of your existence. Start training now, because this physical world isn't a prison sentence. It's your ultimate boot camp for soul-level discernment. Think about it. You're already navigating deceptions daily, from sketchy client emails to viral trends that promise overnight success but deliver burnout. Those are archonic tactics in many form, conditioning you for the cosmic con at death's door. Spot them early. The coworker guilting you into extra hours, ads swearing this gadget will fix your life, news feeds pumping fear to keep you scrolling. Archons aren't lounging until you croak. They're profiling you right now, learning your triggers like targeted ads. Fall for the hype, choose comfort over truth, let anxiety drive decisions, and you're handing them your playbook. Flip it. Use their arena against them. Every dodge scam, every honest pivot in your startup builds the muscle to refuse their false light later. Dive into silence practice. It's your secret weapon in a world weaponized with noise. Notifications pinging, podcasts blaring, mental chatter on loop. That's the matrix drowning out your inner Sophia spark. She doesn't yell. She whispers in the gaps. That quiet alignment rising when the chaos pauses. Kick off with 5 minutes each morning. No apps, no guided vibes, just raw stillness. Watch your mind rebel, desperate to plan the next launch or worry about metrics. That resistance? It's the system spotting its nemesis. Stick with it, and you're tuning into the pleroma frequency, rediscovering your authentic voice beneath the programming. For 20 to 40-somethings bootstrapping dreams, this isn't woo, it's edge. Your incarnation's purpose? Wake up. Remember, beneath conditioning, choose truth in challenges. Every authentic act immunizes you against deceptions, turning you from recyclable cog to system disruptor. Start today. Your freedom's in the daily grind. You've trained hard in this boot camp called life, spotting deceptions in deals, honing silence amid chaos, aligning with your spark through pivots and launches. Now fast forward to the end game. Every breath spent, every lesson banked or squandered. You stand at the threshold moment, consciousness untethered, where a blaze of light erupts. Voices call your name with seductive sweetness, promises cascading like funding rounds that seem too perfect. Here's the counterfeit heaven, dazzling beyond your wildest vision board, beings beaming like celebrity mentors, recounting your struggles, offering reunions and rewards. They know your hustle, dangle eternal rest. But listen close. Demands lurk for worship, surrender of your essence to their greater plan. It's the eighth sphere's trap, hollow core demanding you diminish yourself, recycling your fire into their machine. Steiner warned of this gilded cage, beautiful, compelling, but soul-sucking. Contrast the true pleroma. No trumpets, just profound stillness enveloping like that rare flow state where everything clicks. Light welcomes without blinding, recognizing your spark is kin. No hierarchies, no earn-it grind, it's wholeness. A drop merging with the ocean yet retaining its vibe. Questions dissolve in knowing. Homecoming without fanfare. This choice isn't postponed to death, it's made now in daily reps. Trust truth over lies in your content creation. Love over fear in freelancing gigs. Remembrance over forgetfulness in every decision. You're prepping for eternity amid spreadsheets and strategies. Embrace the call to remembrance. Your divine nature isn't earned, it's reclaimed. If this hits home, sparking that inner fire, drop "I understood it" in the comments below. Subscribe for more disruptor-level insights on cosmic hacks and soul strategies. Hit the bell to stay in the loop. Like, share with your network of builders and dreamers. We're awakening together. Your eternal pivot starts here.